Okay, is that bigger for everybody so you can see it? Okay, great. Okay, so we're going to go through with meet the board, talk a little bit about what their responsibilities are, that kind of thing. Primarily because we're going through an election, and we'll talk a little bit about that, which positions are up, and you should have gotten an announcement to vote as a member, that kind of thing. We'll go status against strategy. There was a May session that I had held, and we talked a little bit about what we're going to try to do this year to position ourselves for next year. And so we'll go through some of those things that we've done, and then basically talk sort of what we're going to be doing for 2022. And then members participation opportunities, and then open forum, and that's the most important, to try to get some feedback as to where we're headed, that kind of thing. Okay, so meet the board. Currently, I'm the president, and my term actually ends the end of this year, and so the president's role is up for election. John Driesniak is the executive vice president. He joined us a couple years ago, and actually has been working real well with Daryl Mesa, with some visionary things, and Daryl implements them to kind of get some of the stuff we're going to show you from a web perspective. Brian Evans, VP of Finance, and you'll see later that he's going to pick up, an additional duty as well. We've appointed a VP. This isn't marketing. This should be membership. Excuse me. And then so we'll just talk through that. So this is VP membership, Rebecca Winston. We've appointed her temporarily, but she's part of the formal election process for the next 3 years. VP conferences is Kathy Evans. I think most of you guys know her. And then we've again we had a VP of education and certification that was elected. They had to resign due to COVID, that sort of thing, where we ended up appointing Bob Loop to serve the rest of the term, which will end the end of next year. VP Research and Standards is Marty Doucette. Marty typically puts the workshops together for the conferences and that kind of thing, and you'll see that what he's doing with what we're calling the Champions Series. VP of Marketing and Comms is Tim Fritz, and his position is up for re-election as well here. And then VP of Digital Presence, the board actually created a new position because of the additional online content that we're doing, and we just needed an expert who knew how to get a lot of things done there. We've appointed Daryl temporarily here until we go through the formal election, and you'll see that he's part of the election to serve formally starting next year. Immediate past president is currently Wayne Abba, and my name will transition down there once we elect a new president. So, but yeah, definitely it's a full team. It's a great team, and I'm really proud of what they've all done to try to get through the COVID issues and position us for the future. So I'm excited to share that with you today. Again, just I'm system engineer, like to show vision, mission, objectives. These, really, they're on our website, that kind of thing. But we're all about EVM, project performance management, and we, want to improve the professional status, and all that good stuff. So, member proposition, this notion of networking, certainly our face-to-face events are a lot better at that. But in light of the COVID, we've been providing as many opportunities to have these discussion-oriented things, webinars, that sort of webinars and such. But our intent is to provide lessons learned from others. So best practices. We've got some training. We hope that it essentially positions you better for success for the future, and learn the latest services and tools, education credits, so there's just a lot of availability for some good things to make your career better. So here's the strategy that I presented in May, and then I highlighted in green, things that we definitely made some progress on, and then obviously we'll talk a little bit about the face-to-face that was not able to happen this year and what we're going to do about that. Okay, so again, to highlight the face-to-face, we're still, our strategic goal is to still have one face-to-face every year. And we had one scheduled for November of this year, and we had to cancel it. We put out surveys, we talked to our members, our sponsors, and essentially, the corporate folks who would send their folks, and we found out that there's not really a bunch of people willing to or able to travel because of current corporate restrictions, that sort of thing. We do know that there are some conferences going on, but it just for us, it didn't seem like we were going to be able to get the actual face-to-face registration. That enough folks there to make it of value to the whole membership. So what we've decided then is in 2022. We're going to go all virtual. We're really going to work to mature our continuous online presence, which was a goal that we established in early 2020, that we wanted to have this, once a year face-to-face, but in between, we wanted to have a continuous online presence. And so we're going to be focusing on that, to provide the training and workshops that, at least once a month, and you'll see much more about the details of that here in a few slides. We are planning a 2023 face-to-face conference, so we're starting to look at locations, venues, that sort of thing, and right now, our target is to keep the face-to-face, is to put the face-to-face back in the middle of the year, May, June timeframe. And again, if we've learned nothing from the past 2 years, things that are out a year and a half or two, there are details that can change. But that's our current vision, is that we're going to be doing that, and we're currently investing in locations, that kind of thing. Okay, so PEP, the first thing that I wanted to talk about. First of all, is there any questions so far? Not that I've gone through a whole bunch of content, but I want to make sure that I offer opportunities for people to beg in, that kind of thing. And Daryl, I can't see the screen where people might have their hands up. So if you could let me know if there's some questions, that would be great. Okay, so PEP training. The PEP training and testing it has been updated so it can be done online. We still want it to be live. We're not targeting that it would be up there, at least yet. We think that there's a lot of benefit in the discussion between the students and the instructor. So although it's virtual, we still want it to be live. There may be some pre-recorded sections, that sort of thing, but we want that interaction and activity. Discussion between the participants. We've got 5 tracks. I think a lot of you might be familiar with that. And these tracks are really targeted for the beginner. They're fairly fundamental. There gets to be in some advanced stuff, and then there's a certification test, certificate, maybe I should say, test that happens after each one of these sessions. And so each track has multiple sessions. For example, the 300 track, which we're going to talk a little bit more about here, has 6 individual sessions or courses. Testing will follow each track. So we'll go through the scheduling track, for example, and at the end of that track, we'll make testing available online for the registrants, so you can get your certificate. All sessions will be recorded in case a registrant misses one. They can go back and they can review it, see it, and it'll be available at least for some period of time after the track is, so that if you've signed up and paid for the track and its sessions, if you happen to miss one, you'll be able to get access to it. So we do want to make sure that at least 70% of the sessions within a particular track are attended as part of the certification process. So and that's because we believe most of the learning is gained through the participation in the class, that kind of thing. And the first session, so the first course out of 6, for example, would be $20. That's the one coming up here in November. You'll see more details about that. And then each subsequent session will be $40. And then there's discounts available for members as well. $20 discount for members. So these are non-member prices. And there's much more detail on pricing and registration that we'll see here in a second. So the overall track training schedule is we're going to be putting on CPM 300 for scheduling November 2nd through 4th of this year. We'll follow this link here in a second to see more of the details of how you register. CPM 500, we're targeting for February, March, and these, I think I made a mistake here, but this is April and May. So the CPM 200 will be in May and CPM 400 will be in April. So let's follow this link. So this link and these charts will be available for folks. But if you follow this link, it brings you to a registration page for the PEP series. It talks, pricing, details about pricing, the actual schedule of the PEP, and then you can add it to your calendar from here, and then more details about pricing, talks about our champion series as far as more information coming soon. And then here's how you register at the bottom of this page. And then you register, session by session. Okay. So, and then you check out that sort of thing. So I just wanted to show you how you get to that. So, let's see. So if I do this, should go back to my slides. Open. There we go. All right. Any questions about that so far? All right. Okay. So Champions Series. And so I know you guys are all familiar with our typical best practices and workshops and that sort of thing that we put on at our typical conferences. This here is essentially our avenue for providing that in a virtual environment. We've got 9 different, topic areas in performance management that we look for abstracts and best practices and presentations. We're going to be providing a series of 5 virtual webinars over the course of the next 6-7 months, sort of aligned, but not really on top of the PEP. But so again, each month you're going to get either a PEP or a championship series opportunity, or in some cases during that month you might get both. They would be different weeks, that sort of thing. Again, they're offered the first session, which was, we've got something coming up in December, which we will be providing much more detail here in the next few weeks. And then any sessions after that will be 40. So it's essentially the same kind of pricing scheme as for the PEP. Each one of the webinars, 5 webinars, will have 4-ish kinds of content, 4 of individual sessions. Okay, so another thing that I think you guys are all familiar with the current awards that we have. And so I've listed them here with what those awards are, what we, Becky Winston, who's taken over our membership and awards falls under her felt. that we needed to upgrade this for sure, and you'll see on the next chart some additional awards that we're adding. But we're also going to be much more diligent at making sure that we focus on getting these awards awarded in a timely fashion, that kind of thing. And you can go to the website and see these awards, and you can see past recipients. But the Driesniak Distinguished Service Award, is an important one. We're definitely going to target that on an annual basis. There's a Gary Crystal Leadership Excellence Award. Both of these are pretty high, prestigious, awards for folks that are contributing to our community. President's Award, that's essentially an award that I can get, that the president can give out, for various reasons, recognize special contributions. The Pride Award is something that's typically given to an outgoing executive, outgoing board member, if deserved, that kind of thing. There's a volunteer award, so those who participate and help out with CPM, we award folks for doing that as well. The awards that we've actually are adding, and some of which we're going to try to get awarded this year, and for sure in 2022 we're going to be looking to award these. But we're going to offer a fellow award, which again is and I'll actually go through and read some of the newer ones here, but a lifetime achievement award, and this is not a self-nominated thing. This is, you need to be nominated by 2 members in good standing, so basically, again, this is a lifetime of contribution sort of thing. And, and then we'll have these list of fellows that folks can tap into for expertise and that sort of thing is what we're thinking. We're going to want to try to incentivize, some of the younger folks, and recognize them, young professional and performance management, and so we're really targeting the early to mid, folks who are making contributions in the performance management arena, again, to try and incentivize, the younger folks to get involved and participate. We're upping our game on establishing with relationships with universities. Still, some work to do there, but we are going to be offering a Professor of the Year to universities, undergraduate or graduate level, again, to try to make our presence known in the university arena and start to work more closely with universities and their respective students. And then a Chapter of the Year. Again, we've got a few chapters, and we're looking to try to grow that. And so we're gonna, essentially every year we will be awarding a Chapter of the Year award. Any questions so far? Any side comments? All right. Okay, so the CPM board elections, there's actually 4 positions that are out for, and as a member, you should have gotten an email that basically says, greetings, whoever mine said, greetings, Gordon. And then it gives you a voter ID and a voter key, and then you can go vote. Write-ins are allowed. There's really only 1 person that's going for each position. And like I said, John's already on the board and been making some fantastic contributions as VP, executive VP. Becky joined the board, again, and is doing some great things with membership. And then, you'll meet Daryl a little bit later in this presentation. He'll do some demonstration of some of the cool things that he and John have been working on. So, and then Jason, I think he's a well-known person in the community. He's been volunteering quite a bit on the IPM series and a variety of things. And we look forward to, again, if he gets elected, to working with him. So, but given that there's only 1 for each, anyway, but please take the time to vote, offer your comments, that sort of thing. Okay, so membership participation opportunities, and I talked a little bit about this in the May time frame. But we're very active in the ISO EVM implementation guide development. We have a mirror committee that we meet monthly, and it's got about 14 participants. 6 to 8 of them are real active. We've been contributing content and comments to the EVM implementation guide as part of the overall team, and there will be comment opportunities on this guide coming up. So we're hoping to have at least this many, and we're welcome more to help review this product as ISO matures it. There's an Agile Program Management ad hoc group that's starting up that we're going to try to get involved with as well. And remember, these ISO things are cross-country. We've got folks from from China and Russia and Spain and Colombia and Brazil, Australia, UK, US. And so it's really an opportunity to try to engage with the thoughts of across, internationally. So it's actually been a lot of fun. And then there's also there's some program and portfolio standards that are being looked at for update as part of that process. And we've got myself and Becky Winston are essentially the face of CPM at this technical community. And then we work with the mirror committee for anything that that's out for review or contributions that we need to make. And then we're also looking to apply to become, we're not looking to, we're actually applying to become the technical liaison to the quality management technical committee. And Wendy Hilton and Elizabeth Scholler have offered to be our face to that technical committee once we get approval to participate. We've been doing this transatlantic collaboration forum. This is part of that process. It really, the original purpose was to, again, recognizing that COVID, we're kind of all in the same problem, trying to solve the same thing. Steve Wake and I recognize that, that's very similar to the performance management, and we should start to do some collaboration internationally. And so that's really what this was all about, and we'll see where it goes after the next few sessions. But we've had 11 webinars over 5 months. Videos will be available through our website. And this here is actually the link to, and I'll go ahead and follow it, link to the CPM content, and Steve Wake has links to his content. But so here's one of those videos. Here's Dan Lynch on data analysis, and we had EVM for operations, and then last year we had Mr. Cadman. So there's a session here. So I guess this was maybe earlier this year. It was in June. So so that's available on the website. You can view it. These particular videos are available to anybody and everybody for now. But the intent will be that the videos that we publish and the long-term access to that will only be by members. Again, another one of the member benefits to reflect on that. Again, another international thing that we're working at the May membership meeting, we had Mauricio reached out and said that, hey, there's a few of us that are actually doing EV and trying to make it work here in Brazil. We've actually been working with some government programs, that sort of thing, and we'd like to figure out how to work more closely with CPM, maybe form a chapter and grow the Brazilian presence, the collaboration presence internally, and then also more actively work with CPM, US here. So what we did is we started a series of monthly meetings, and with the intent of sending out more and more invites to Brazilian interested parties. And we started with 2. We've had maybe 3 or 4 meetings, and we're up to maybe 10 or 12 folks that we're actually sending out the invites to, and each month we get more and more participants. And so So this is, I guess any U.S. participation would be, they're looking for trying to work with CPM and its members, on best practice and different things. And there's, maybe there's a topic that comes up that's that could be worked jointly. We establish a working group, and so that would be something that maybe you could an opportunity to work, with some international folks on some things. Again, just spitballing here, but there's all kinds of good things that can happen out of this international collaboration. So we're looking forward to continuing that and growing that constituent base in Brazil. We're expanding the EVM library to include virtual event content. And so, I'll just read through these, but then what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer the control to Daryl, and he'll actually show you how to get access to these different things. And the cool thing is it's going to be available. It's also equally available on your phone. So, but we're developing a compendium. John found an old EVM guide that had originally been developed for the DoD that we're looking to potentially update. And then there's other folks who have historical references that we're looking to work with to try to get their content. Essentially, we want to establish a performance management reference set of reference documents a bit more formally than we have today to underpin the discipline. So CPM website, you'll see, these kinds of things. What the interesting thing is we've upgraded to allow members to update and customize their profiles so that you can share information with other members. Extensive EVM library, and then the video content, that kind of thing. Daryl's started a YouTube channel. And our LinkedIn group has been rejuvenated and getting bigger. So we're also getting more integrated into the Teams environment, and we'll be looking for ways to integrate our members into that process, because that offers all kinds of cool, interesting virtual and online opportunities. So for now, what I'll do is, I think if I stop sharing, Daryl, will you be able to demo them?
Yeah, so as you can see there, this CPM Hub, also known as the SharePoint, can be found both on your phone and also on Microsoft Teams itself. This is available for members right now, and supposedly in the upcoming guests as well. Guests might be able to see this hub, but as soon as CPM members log into their Microsoft Teams account, the CPM Hub will be the very first app on the bottom left. That's on the app itself for both cell phone and desktop use. Now, this is a CPM Hub. That means that it's a communication site. So the capability is to provide a one-stop shop as a one source data for all members, including the guests and external guests as well. And it has everything what Gordon has been providing this past 30 minutes. So we're going to start off with the CPM Hub dashboard, which can be found both on the cell phone and also on the desktop. So as you can see here, there's 3 cards, as Microsoft calls it. Cards are basically just links or apps based on what we want to see as a group or a business. So I have the mycpm.org website. And right on the second card, I have the CPM library. Now, the CPM library is connected to SharePoint, and that this is the future in the next couple of 6 months, Gordon. From what I understand, the current EVM library you can still access it, and you can access it through our website as well. So what CPM has been doing is creating a SharePoint document library. This document library is separated between the EVM library, IPMW library, and a video library. So if you click on the EVM library, it brings you to a group of files. And these files contain specifically for EVM. We're still transitioning the current EVM library to our new SharePoint document library. Now, at this point, it's progressing in the right direction. So if one person or if a CPM member decides to download it and revise it or check out, the options are there for us to see as members. So it will automatically turn red as far as it being modified, and it'll show the date. So as far as the SharePoint library, we implement those types of features to capture those changes. So any questions so far? All right.
Not everybody all at once now.
I'm gonna go back to the hub. And to get back to the hub, you click on the CPM logo on the left side. This brings you back to the previous page, and it brings you to the CPM library. Now, to get back to the website, we have a navigation on the left side that pretty much separates the sections of where you want to go. So as you can see here, the CPM Hub is shown on your screen. And we started off with the CPM dashboard. Like I said, a dashboard can be seen both on your cell phone and on your desktop. On the second card, we put the mycpm.org. So this will be able to bring you up to the website itself. And it doesn't do that. So, but if you click on that, another window will pop up outside of Microsoft Teams, and it'll give you the website for CPM. Any questions so far? So the advantages of doing all this is to operate inside of Microsoft Teams, and that's what Microsoft is trying to do at this point, especially with the virtual world that we all live in. So this is basically what the best advantages of having Microsoft Teams. And working inside just Microsoft Teams can be very convenient for all of us. At the same time, it's very tricky, as we all know, trying to navigate between different teams. So by having this advantage, you'll be able to at least target CPM only. So that makes sense to everybody out there.
Just to add something too, I mean, so this here is something that we're migrating, not necessarily migrating exclusively to. The website is still available, you know, and all of the content will be available through links on the website as well. So if you're not a Teams user, that kind of thing, you're still going to have access to everything that you need to have through the website. So we're just kind of showing some advanced features that for the Teams-oriented users that you know we can provide a few additional opportunities here. But all of the information, all of the access to videos in the library, to the events, being able to register to the events, all that sort of thing is available on the website itself.
Yes, that's actually correct, Gordon. And the SharePoint Hub or the CPM Hub is just like a sister site to our mycpm.org. Like what Gordon said, mycpm.org is the main site, and we have been improving on the website itself. So if you tour the website on and see the features that we've actually provided, the website has been improved in such a great way. So as far as the SharePoint Hub, hey Gordon?
Yeah, so just real quick, can you show them on the website where a member has the ability? I mean, again, you get, I think we've sent out a login to the website as part of your membership. You know, when you register, you get a user ID and a password. And when you log on to mycpm.org, you have the ability to update your profile. I can provide some more specific information. Do you have, can you show that on the website there? You still with me, Daryl? Or did you?
Can you hear me now? All right, I put myself
Yeah.
in mute. So as you can see here on the left side is the CPM, or is the mycpm.org site. This is the cell phone version. So to get to the menu, you would have to click on the 3 lines on the right side of your cell phone screen. And it pretty much has everything from about us all the way down through the events, education, and the chapters, the member login as well, and also the past issue measurable news. Now, to get to specific content like what's going on with CPM Transatlantic webinar series, we added a site for that specific event. And if you can see, if you scroll down here, it has specific dates and events for the member and non-member to register and join the webinar. And as you can see here, in case you missed that webinar, the series that's recorded are located on the bottom of the page. And it brings you to all the webinars that's pre-recorded. And it's available for members and non-members right now until December 31st of this year. So any questions so far?
No.
So one of the
go ahead.
So one of the benefits of doing this is providing content and a virtual environment, but also protecting our content as well, because both the member and non-member will not be able to download these specific videos. It's content protected based upon WordPress itself.
Just be able to view it.
Yes. So
Okay.
you just be able to view it both on your cell phone and on your desktop.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Okay.
So
well,
we go back to the home page. Okay. So if you just tour the website, it's a lot. It has improved in the most progressive, good way. So it just if you get a chance, just tour the website, and I'm going to turn it over to Gordon.
Okay. Yeah, so we appreciate any feedback. Obviously, as we're transitioning, there may be a few glitches, that kind of thing. But okay, so let me share my desktop again, and then let's go back to presentation. And then what I want to do is, are you seeing the presentation? I'm hoping.
No.
Oh, so I'm not sharing. Pardon me. Yeah, I think I'm sharing. Okay, let's try this again. Share screen. All right, what are you seeing?
Okay, we see it now.
All right, okay, good. All right, so let's do this. All right, so what I wanted to highlight, I want to go back to this page, and so I wanted to highlight something. And so you'll see in these schedules, essentially there will be opportunities for vendors and so again, as part of these sessions, not only will members benefit from tools and new capabilities and that sort of thing that are being provided, similar to what you would see at the face-to-face. But we're each of the days that we have, and this is just representative. This is November, but we're planning on doing this same kind of thing. Is that we're still going to be offering these abilities for people to get access to tool vendors in order to understand more what the latest and greatest is, how they how they might be able to support, you know, what the individual members are doing, that sort of thing. And so I just wanted to make sure people understood that we're doing that as well. And again, that's a mutually beneficial for sponsors and for members to be able to see that kind of stuff. Okay, there we go. Let's see, so now I'll go forward. We did that, and we did this. So I wanted to go through some focal points, you know, and definitely, you know, get involved, please. But, you know, we're doing a lot of really interesting things. Okay, so I think I messed this one up. Oops, escape. None. Okay, so this champion series, no, I didn't. It is the contact is Marty Doucette. You know, so if you have any questions, he's actually put out emails for, you know, specific champions for each of the topic areas. But if you're, he will be the one that orchestrating the whole thing. Education and training is Bob Loop. You know, and so any questions about PEP or any of that kind of stuff, Mr. Loop will be, you know, can address. This compendium development, Brian Evans, our financial lead, you know, that's how to get a hold of him if you are trying to understand what is currently in the compendium or have recommendations for what to put in it, or want to participate in that group to help develop it. Brian Evans would be the one to contact. Sponsorship and conferences is Kathy Evans. Membership and chapter support is Rebecca Winston. So that's her contact. Marketing is Tim Fritz. Online and web support, Daryl Mesa, and you just heard from him. You know, he's again, John Driesniak has been doing some great things with identifying some new capability that we should be implementing, and Daryl has been doing a great job of putting it up on the website. So. And then international collaboration, whether it's ISO or this Brazilian thing or whatever, you know, go ahead and contact me as I transition into immediate past president. You know, my duties will, you know, will lend themselves skills and such to this international collaboration stuff. So, and so that's all I had to share with you. I mean, that this presentation will be available online, and you know, to anybody, go ahead and share the link that you have, and they should be able to get to this. For, you know, probably a few months we're going to be having this free for everybody. Not that these kinds of advertisement things would be costing, but at some point we're going to do some things with the video to where it's members only kind of thing. But these will be available for everybody to try to help people understand where we're at, where we're headed, and definitely look. You know, I look forward to working with the new team and starting in January, as they you know, take these things forward, and then also you know, continue to mature and increase what we're doing here. So, are there any questions?